everyone, and welcome to my channel in this encounter with beautiful and inspiring minds. It is fascinating for me to explore inner universes and inner worlds, and because each person is a totally new territory, and I feel very grateful for being able to tap into that and to go beyond that coat that we all put on top, because it is not only about what we achieve, but maybe it is about how we do that and also why we do it. And it is also perhaps developing qualities of being and mind habits and recognize values and insights. So today we will tap into the infinite field of possibilities through the conversation with my guest, Aron Vetesi. Welcome, Aron. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Susanna. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So a few words about him. He's a certified NLP practitioner and a life coach, and he's now helping people with their health-related challenges. So I can't wait to hear more about that, Aron. So briefly, as a result of stress from work and heavy emotional conflict from relationships, he developed all sorts of mental, physical symptoms, but he managed to change things around and restore this balance in his body and his mind, and also to boost his immune system. And he's now passionate about helping others to do the same. So he believes in this holistic approach of mind, body, spirit. And he says that the mindset is the major part of the work. So this sounds very interesting to me, and I totally agree with you, but I would like to tap into what precisely do you mean by that?
Okay.
What is mindset? Let's say somebody who hasn't studied or hasn't heard of NLP, or of any type of similar work such as this one. What is mindset?
I think mindset is the way you approach life, the way you view things in life, the way you perceive things in life. And as a result of those views and perceptions, you're going to behave certain ways, and you're going to make certain choices, and you're going to have certain results and a state of being as a result. So the mindset part is basically kind of like your hardware, where everything happens, control panel.
So that means that if I want to change something in my life, I first have to look into the mindset. All right. So you were mentioning here, let me check, because I took notes. I read through your website.
Right.
You said that it's about a deep dive within, understanding how your mind works and how to reprogram it. So
Yes.
How do you do this deep dive within?
I think it does start with some knowledge about the brain. It really is helpful when you understand how it works and how it learns new information, and how you can create different habits. And just in simplistic terms, that you have a subconscious mind, and 95% of our behaviors and the way we feel and think is automatic. So it's only 5% that conscious, and you have choice over, so to speak. It has to be designed in such a way that you hardwire programs, beliefs, and perceptions and behaviors and everything else, as well as breathing and everything. So you're running on autopilot. So this is why it's so hard to change. And once we understand this, you can kind of create a roadmap. Then if it's so hard to change because it's automatic, I need to make sure I have repetition. So I want to create a new behavior with that 5% of my conscious mind. I know this is not working well. Okay, I'd like to respond differently to certain situations, but it's just so hard. But I know I need repetition for a long period of time with consistency to consciously do it differently until it's hardwired. It hardwires. It replaces the old road that you carved out back in the day.
From what you're telling me now, correct me if I'm wrong, you have tapped into this through studying the brain, but were you having an awareness of that somehow prior to that?
Always followed my intuition all my life. And the first, say, 30 years, I was really into fitness. As an 8-year-old, I got into fitness, got into kayaking and all kinds of different sports along the line. And I was really attracted to this physical aspect of life. and I wasn't interested in the intellectual aspect of life. What that did for me was, and I wouldn't change it for the world, with that passion I developed for sport and the physical aspect, I developed grit, passion, and perseverance in life in that early age. And I learned how to work for it, how to stay consistent and put in that work every day.
I'm curious, you mentioned three important words, which are intuition, passion, and perseverance. So I would like to know a little bit more about each of them. How do you experience intuition? How do you know it is intuition? And how do you follow it?
So intuition, I think it's incredible. Now I know how that works through the nervous system, but before, as a child, I just did what felt right for me. Actually, I could not concentrate on something I wasn't interested in. So I had no choice almost. And I just felt that was right. I had a bundle of energy. I was loving the thing that I was doing, and I just felt I had to do that. I had to pursue that goal of mine.
So if you were to describe intuition to one of your clients,
Your inner wisdom, I guess.
so if you were to explain to someone to follow the intuition, to follow their intuition, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I would say that follow what feels right. What feels right deep within your heart, your soul, your holistic system will tell you through your feelings, your emotions, that it is the right way.
How do you recognize what's right? Because sometimes we're in the middle of all these doubts, and there's fear, and there's anger, and there's anxiety, and there's health problems, and there's relationship problems, and problems at work. And how do you get yourself to feel that what's important, and how do you get to do something about it or follow it?
I think there's a change in the vibration. You kind of toy with the idea of one scenario, and you kind of notice the vibration of your body, and then you toy with the idea of what your gut feeling is telling you, and you feel the vibration. You notice the difference.
How is it different? Like, what does it feel like? What did it feel like to you, that passion for sport, for instance?
It feels exciting. I feel love for it, and there is a magnetic energy. You're being pulled.
It's exciting. It's a magnetic force. You're being pulled by it. I love that. So this is what your soul is telling you. This is where your passion is, right?
Yes.
Once we felt it a few times. So let's say I tapped into that. I feel this urge to do something, but then I have doubts, and then I start to be busy being unhappy and fearful. What would be your advice? What do we do to move from that intuition into the action and start to move into what you mentioned earlier, that perseverance, like into that doing every day, following that?
I think one way to do it is that gain more certainty and confidence in yourself, because if you do that, you're likely to follow your passion, your intuition. I think that's one thing. And so grounding yourself in certainty and confidence, and that can be done, with a lot of things. You can reflect on your values, for example. What's important to you in life, your hierarchy of values, that creates a level of certainty. You can reflect on your gifts and build on it, and you can celebrate your victories, kind of reflect on those past experiences that empower you. So you can create that kind of certainty and confidence in you, and that way I think you're much more likely to follow your intuition.
But what does it mean to you, self-confidence or confidence?
Confidence means that I am brave enough to do things, go for things, regardless of the circumstances. And it's related to self-esteem, right? So self-esteem is about how you think of yourself, and confidence is how you think of your skills, but they are kind of closely related.
Okay, so confidence is how you feel or what you think about your skills.
Skills and
That's
knowledge.
interesting. Skills and
Yeah.
knowledge. So how do we
Yeah.
boost then the confidence? We have to improve the skills as well and the knowledge.
Yes, that's right. Because as you improve skills and knowledge, you make progress, and when you can measure progress, it feels great because you have that sense of accomplishment, and then you become more confident. And of course, you can motivate yourself even more. And as you increase motivation, you automatically increase confidence. So this is a lot of ways. I made actually 10 videos on how to build confidence before. I posted on my Facebook, and you can do a whole bunch of things. You can use the comfort zone theory when you stretch yourself in any aspect of life, and it stretches you in all aspects of life. So that's a great way to boost your confidence. Physical confidence contributes to your overall confidence. That's something really magnificent about that, physical confidence. So improving your fitness level, making your body vital and strong.
How come? In what way?
Because you are, again, making progress with your body. It's getting stronger. It's getting healthier. Progress equals happiness. That's what they say, right?
How do we break an important goal or an important vision into smaller pieces that are achievable, so that I can reach that level of satisfaction and of motivation and of, how did you call it? Making progress and celebrating little victories.
You break the big goal down into a few steps, a few larger milestones, if you will, and then break those ones into smaller steps, and then smaller steps, until you kind of get to the almost like the daily activities, the daily tasks to reach one of your goals, and then you up it to the next one. So
Okay.
it's all broken down into daily activities that you can measure, rather than big goals, months away, years away, that feels frustrating that you're nowhere near it.
And do you have a specific goal for yourself now? Are you using these tools on yourself?
I have weekly goals, so I set a few goals, not necessarily for every single day. That would be too harsh on me. No, it's just for the week. And if I don't follow through on every single goal, it's fine, because everything happens for a reason. Maybe I wasn't in the right place, right frame of mind to do that. I don't beat myself up, because I think that's the worst thing you can do. I try to learn from it. What happened there? How could I follow through next time? What do I need to create in my environment to do those tasks? Always looking at it from that perspective, that what can I learn from that and move forward.
How come you got into that curiosity? Because this is not an easy place to be for many people, like to stay in the curiosity and learn from your mistake and say, oh, well, it's okay, I did that, and let's move to the next thing and let's try it again. This is a quality that you have. Have you developed it, or you just happen naturally through all these challenges you've been through?
I always had this tendency in life to quickly move on, but during my adversity in life, my biggest adversity, when I went through a divorce and I had to leave my 2 kids behind. That was my biggest roller coaster for me, emotional roller coaster in my life. And that's when I kind of started picking up books and started learning about the brain and mindset. I guess I developed through learning and practicing. I developed a new a new perception, a new belief, how to look for the benefits in your experiences. Whatever happened, there has to be a benefit, because every disadvantage contains its opposite, an advantage. And if you look for it, you find it. And as I delved into these books, it made it clear for me that, oh, right, it is possible. So whatever belief I had before about the past, or about resentment, anger, frustration that I kept inside, I bottled up, that wasn't real. It was my perception on it. I learned it the hard way, because prior to my divorce, as I had bottled up all the emotion and I couldn't really resolve the issues, it manifested in physical illness. Chronic illness, they said, could never be cured. I was going from hospital to hospital, doctor to doctor. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And I was desperate to find somebody who could heal me, but I couldn't.
It was a reason for that, because you had to learn something, and you did.
Yeah.
You did your homework.
Yes. And after the divorce, we were still going through a lot of emotional turmoil, and I started learning the ways to handle them, and to see the benefits, as I mentioned before, in my experiences. And that way, it's so easy to forgive somebody, and so easy to let go of resentments, anger, frustration, all the negative energy you invest from the past. And answering your question, that's how I got to that stage where anything happens to me, I instantly look for the benefits.
Yeah, but that's extraordinary. That makes it sound very simple, actually. So if I'm struggling a lot, and most of the times people are suffering because they believe they cannot change the things they would like to change, because they get trapped into all kinds of emotions and feelings, and in their own beliefs. So it's as simple as that. Just change a belief, change how you look at things, and then everything can shift. So how do we change a belief then?
Yeah, my way of doing it is again, repetition and consistency. So I have a little notebook. I could show it to you. It's a bunch of scribbles, loads of pages, basically all the empowering views, perceptions, and beliefs I got from books, and resonated with me. So every time I read a book, I kind of underline, as I go along, underline my favorite sentences. And then when I finish the book, I just write out those sentences, usually a page. And because now I've read a bunch of books, I get loads. And every day I read from this, I could call it my Bible, every morning, religiously, a couple of pages.
Can you read me a couple of examples, please?
Yeah, sure. Next one is Magic from Rhonda Byrne, right? So it's just a page. Count your blessings. Say thank you for the best thing that happened to you in the day. That's a good exercise. Magical relationships give you life joy. And look for things to be grateful for in all challenging situations. So that's kind of highlighted. And of course, I read it regularly, and it becomes my belief. Look for things to be grateful for in all challenging situations. The key is really repetition and consistency, because you read it, but you forget it now, right? You read the book, you forget about it. But when you write things out and you repeat them and you ponder on them, because every single day, I've been reading my notebook for years now, and it's get added to it by the books I read. Every single time I think of it a different way, something pops up, an insight about this line or mantra or belief, something even more powerful. Yeah, that's a very easy way. Put it on paper, not just in mind. Read it, repeat it, say it out loud, because that just adds superior power when you talk to yourself. Whether it's funny or not, the spoken word has a special vibratory power. So that's what I do in the morning. I speak to myself. I read these sentences, ponder on things. It gets totally hardwired into my system.
Oh, I like that. So that basically, what would thinking be normally, I suppose, in the sense that we don't just take ideas and let them simply fly and float around in our minds, but take an idea, choose an idea that I like, ponder on it, and reflect on it. To me, that's
Yes.
what probably real thinking would be, rather than just listening to TV, hearing some bad news, and then, take it as a truth. So it's that process of selection and reflection in there.
I think so. That's just crucial to build those new neural networks, a new way of thinking, a new belief.
Can we use some tools to anchor them even deeper in the body, in your neurology, other than by reading out loud and pondering and reflecting on them?
When you share it, it just consolidates even better, and sinks in, not more easily for you. And plus, you're trying, there is a sense of you trying to get it out to the world, to make changes and improve the quality of people's lives. So I think sharing is a good way to further reinforce it in yourself as well, and putting it into practice. So as you go along in life, something happens to you and you remember that, okay, I look for benefits in my challenging experiences. What are the benefits here? So you put it into practice.
And how do you think that we extract the teachings, and how do we actually process an event that was painful in the past so that we can get that positive? There is a mechanism in there, I suppose.
I think the biggest breakthrough in my strategy was to understand that people are always doing the best they can with the resources they have available. That core belief or presupposition, as NLP calls it, is so powerful because it helps you shift your focus and view the situations from different angles. And as you do that, you have more freedom about the emotion you're experiencing, and it just loosens up. So I think that was the most powerful way in my strategy.
But this is very important, what you're saying, because that means forgiveness is not that difficult to attain. I work with people, and probably you too, and we ourselves have been in this situation where it's hard to let go, hard to forgive someone, because we take it personally. And we think it has to do with us, but it's never about us, right? It's always about themselves, and it's always about what can I learn from this experience. So what would be the belief, do you think, that would need to work on in order to forgive?
I think something that just popped up as you were saying that is that a great belief would be to know that everybody on this planet is looking for one thing or a few things: love, acceptance, and to belong. So whatever behaviors they exhibit is because they have unmet needs. They're not getting that. They're not getting love. They're not getting acceptance. And maybe they are, not in the right path, not in the right frame of mind. They don't have the right knowledge about how to attain that. So it's not against you. It's totally not against you. I think that's quite liberating to know. Who would want hostility? Who would want anger, frustration, fights in their lives? No one. Our brains are looking for two things: threats and rewards. Threats to keep us alive. So that's just encoded in our genes. But the main thing is for rewards. We want rewards. We want to feel happy. We want to feel connected and accepted and valued.
If I am to put everything together that you told me, it is good to remain curious about what's happening, curious about what you can learn from it. Go ahead and study and learn from minds that have understood certain things. So have that humbleness to learn and to listen. Connect to what really matters to you, right? Have that vision and follow that passion and break it into small pieces so that you can follow through, and then go down into concrete actions of doing something today that will bring you closer every day to that which matters to you. So apart from reading these beautiful quotes, what else do you do every day that keeps you in tune with yourself and with your passion and motivated, of course?
Everybody needs an anchor in life, and it's individual. For me, I guess the way I can always motivate myself is my biggest anchor is sport, is a good workout. I'm really deeply connected to it, and it gives me an instant boost. So I think it's very important to identify for everybody what your anchor is, where you get that inner power. And because, yeah, we can have these, rituals in the morning, say your gratitude, you do your mantras, right? And you work on your goals, and you try to install a brand new belief. But sometimes nothing seems to work, right? Nothing seems to work. You're down. You're feeling a bit depressed, or maybe you're anxious about the future, and you're trying all these tools, and it's just like, I'm confused. And that's when you need your anchor. I have a couple of anchors, but my biggest, like I said, it's fitness. I do my workout. I go for a run, do my cardio. I do my pull-ups. I do a good upper body workout. I feel the pump. I feel great. The problems disappear, and I start insights start popping into my head, solutions. That's one of my passions. But I'm passionate about motorcycles. I've been riding for 25 years, and that's something close to me, close to my spirit. And if I just read up on my bikes, or do my maintenance, work on my bike, it feels great, and that's something I can tap into and to raise my vibration. And so you need something that you can tap into anytime.
I'm curious about what would be then your unique wisdom, that unique flavor, that unique touch that you are bringing to your customers, your clients, in the therapy that you do, and in the work that you do, and simply in all the relationships that you have with others. Who are you?
Yeah, I could. The words covered up for me is a passionate energy force. I don't know why that came up, but I live life with passion, and I love to encourage more people to live life with passion. I think that's the strongest force. When you combine intention with passion, you become the strongest version of yourself. So to me, that word is just beautiful and empowering, and it has a lot of energy in it.
What would be the unique quality of your being? You're unique in this world, Aron. Nobody else is like you.
I think that's empowerment.
Empowerment?
Mm.
How come?
I feel that we can move somebody with our energy and empower somebody, and that comes through your physiology, even without speaking. You don't need to speak a word. You can move somebody with your energy. So that is why that's what comes up for me, empowerment. Because working with a client, yeah, they take away some of the wisdom, but they feel something. They feel
Yes.
that empowerment. They feel something that subconscious. They don't even know what it is, but something moved inside. I got inspired. by the energy. I got inspired, I got empowered, and that's more important than anything you can give. Even money, inspiration and encouragement are more important than any amount of money you can give.
Why do you think you're here, Aron, in this world, in this body, in this reality? Why are you here? Have you ever thought of that?
Recently, yes. It's kind of bold to say, but it's just what comes from my heart. I think I'm here to help people heal.
So before wrapping up, I'd like to ask you, if you wanted to, of course, to do a little practice or a little exercise with us. For instance, that will help myself now and the viewers to feel empowered.
I think we could just do a empowering question exercise to kind of elevate your vibration when you're feeling low. So say
empower me, Aron.
Yeah, okay. So these are the questions you'd be asking yourself if you felt a bit low and under the weather. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for.
First of all, I'm grateful for being able to do what I do now. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I'm grateful for my sense of magic. I'm grateful for living here in France, in the south, beautiful weather, and despite the confinement, being here and totally connected with everybody. How many did I say? 4?
4.
And I'm grateful for my daughter and for this gift that she is to me.
Oh, wow. You know what? Tell me 5 more.
5 more? I'm hearing my cats fighting in the hallway. Well, I'm grateful for my cats because they give me lots of love. Yeah. I'm grateful for being able to do what I love doing and to follow my passion. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful for having achieved this level where I feel so good in my body after struggling with lots of health issues before. That gives me the impression that getting older is actually a super cool thing because you're actually getting better as you're getting older.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for the birds that are singing now outside. All right. And yes. What else I'm grateful for? I'm grateful for having this conversation with you.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. Yeah, you got 10. All right. So tell me what you're passionate about in life. Tell me a few things that you're passionate about.
Well, I'm passionate about many things, but most of all, well, let's go with the most important one. I'm passionate about God. This has always been my thing. I wanted to find the connection with what's out there. So that's my passion, number 1. Then I'm passionate about helping others and being there for others. Passionate about eating healthy food. Mm-hmm. Passionate about nature and life in general. What am I passionate? How many? Do I have to tell you 5 again or not?
Yeah, that was 5 fine.
I'm passionate about painting. I love painting.
Oh, wow.
I'm passionate about reading everything that moves about mind and its tricks, a little bit like you. Passionate about all kind of abilities that people have.
Wow, that's great. All right. And what are you excited about in the future? Tell me about what you're excited about, pumped about.
Excited about in the future? I'm excited about where this new project that I have now is going to lead me. I'm excited about how things can change for the better after this weird and strange period that we are going through. For some reason, I feel inside that knowledge that something can change and for the better. So I'm excited about seeing that. I'm excited for the first time I'm going to go out and go in nature for my first trip after the confinement ends. I already know where I'm going to go.
Oh, yes. Oh, nice.
And what am I excited about? I'm excited about all these new connections and all these new friends that I made during this time, connecting with people and really knowing and exchanging with them at a certain level. deeper level.
Yeah, awesome. It's really nice as you're answering these questions. You know, you can feel the energy, and you're cultivating these heartfelt positive emotions, right?
Absolutely,
And it's
yes.
just, you're kind of redirecting your thoughts, and this is a really great shifter, if you will, when somebody's feeling low.
And can we do that to ourselves, or we absolutely need to have this done during a conversation? Yeah?
No, yourself. So what am I grateful for in life? What am I passionate about? What am I excited about? And you start thinking about the answers, and you tell yourself the answers.
Write them down.
Out loud.
Out loud. Say them out loud.
Yeah, out loud. Say them out loud. Not just in your mind, but out loud. That's very powerful. That shifts your state a lot more quickly.
It kind of reminds you what really matters. So it's a reminder. So it's always a matter of shifting, switching from one thought to another, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So in Montreal, when I was there, I was part of this Gurdjieff group. It was a fantastic experience. I don't know if you've heard of it, but since you're passionate about emotions and mind, it might be one of the books to read next and take quotes from.
Right.
But I'm telling you, going to highlight every single sentence.
It's funny, yeah.
You're going to have to rewrite the book. And my teacher there, he was my mentor. I learned a great deal from him. He was really if there was somebody in my life who really had a serious impact, is him, Edward Fanaberia. And he told me once one thing, and I will always remember. He told me many things, but he said like this: Susanna, people suffer in life for only one reason, because they forget they have the choice.
Pretty profound, isn't it?
And true.
Yeah.
And when I suffer, when I go low, when I go into a negative emotion, the moment I remember this, I say to myself, oh my God, why am I accepting this thought? Just flip the thought, just choose another thought. But it takes practice, as you said. Do you have a motto before we finish the conversation? Do you have a motto in life?
One of them is, anything you do in life, do it with empathy, compassion, kindness, honesty, and love.
Well, since I'm tuned into your own neurology, I kind of feel that, so it feels quite good. So thank you, Aron. This was fantastic. I don't know, unless you have something else to add to everything we discussed.
I think we had a great time, and thank you so much. I really appreciate this interview, and you taking the time with me and to do this project. I can see the ripple effect as you do this online on YouTube, and with the intention of touching more people's lives. And it's just a beautiful thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll see you again soon, right? On Friday.
Absolutely.